Hey y'all, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first time here, I greatly appreciate you tuning in. Today I want to talk about saltwater buffalo. I've been asked a few different times, what is saltwater buffalo? Does it stand for something? Is it not? For those of you that don't know, that's what I go by on YouTube, but it's also a brand that I've trying to get off the ground and started on. I'm currently just selling hats, but I would eventually like to move into shirts and other apparel type stuff. But this is what my logo looks like, is the Saltwater Buffalo. And whenever I done a revamp on my YouTube channel, it used to be called Oak Island Adventures. And so whenever I took a break and wanted to reboot it, I wanted to come up with an identity other than just myself. And I used to go by Buffalo whenever I lived in Ohio, so I knew I kind of wanted to pay some form of a homage to that and didn't really know where to go with it. And that's, I mainly do saltwater fishing. So I'm like, you know what, it's kind of catchy, that can be my brand, is that. And as I started doing this, I'm like, wanted to look for a cool logo, that type of stuff. So I scoured the internet, and honestly, I think one of my buddies at work had found like the buffalo skull that I currently use. And I thought, man, that's cool. And so I kind of started just rolling with that. I had a buddy of mine reach out and say, "Hey man, I got some stuff I want to send you. What's your address? Blah blah blah." And so whenever I got the package, had no clue what this guy was going to send me. It was hats. He was like, "Look, man, we've been buddies since junior high, high school, whatever it was. I've been following you through, your YouTube journey." And he was like, I wanted to do this for you. He does custom embroidery type, laser engraving is what he does. And I'm like, man, that's cool. So, I just kind of put out a little social media page, and everybody's like, oh man, that's cool. That's cool. Let me get something or whatever. But the whole purpose of this is, what's the meaning in Saltwater Buffalo? It's just not my nickname. There actually is meaning into this. So I want to go over of what it is, what it means to me, and hopefully how it portrays to everybody else and can be a cool brand. But first of all, just the symbolism of a buffalo is for strength, abundance, and self-sacrifice. Is pretty much like what the Native Americans and early history viewed buffalo as. So it goes on to say, buffalo are powerful animals, and their symbolism often reflects strength, resilience, and endurance. So anybody like me that's been through crap in your life, man, you've got to have the strength, you got to have the resilience, you got to have the endurance to deal with stuff. And when I read that, I'm like, man, that fits me. I've been through my stuff, man. We all have. Don't ever let nobody tell you that they haven't. But that just right off the bat was very fitting. The next one says they are associated with abundance and the ability to provide for others. I've not been good at that for part of my life, and for part of my life I've tried to be very good in providing for people, whether that's financially with my wife and stepkids, whether that's, just mentally being there for friends when they're going through their hard times, anything like that. Like, just providing whatever for whoever needs it. Like, I want to be that. That's part of what I talked about in my last video that we talked. Like, I want to provide inspiration. I want to provide entertainment. I want to provide a lot of things for a lot of people. And that's part of my reasoning for doing this. And then the last one is self-sacrifice. In some cultures, buffalo are seen as giving everything they have to sustain life, representing self-sacrifice and generosity. Once again, that's what I want to be. That's what I strive to be. Do I always hit that mark? I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I did. But, I want to be... I'll give up everything, especially for my family. Whatever it is, I will do it, and that's how I see the buffalo as. So that meant a lot to me. It's just not my nickname from whenever I was 20 years old and that type of stuff. Like, there is actual real meaning to it, and I think most of those meanings apply to me. Maybe you disagree, but I feel that it does. And then part of the first thing that I initially had found was this. I never knew. So we've all heard of water buffalo. I never really knew what they was. I knew they was an animal, whatever. But I never knew water buffalo was slang. Number one, slang term forms, basically you're fat. So, I'm a fluffy fella. So, that one kind of fit in with that a little bit. But there also is another slang term for water buffalo. And it's loud, rowdy, and intimidating. For those of you that know me, you know I'm loud. You know I tend to get a little bit rowdy whenever I've had some cocktails in me. Now, as far as the intimidating, I don't know about all that. I sound intimidating, but those that you know me, I'm not. But, I can be if I need to be, but I'm not that anymore. I'm getting too old and crotchety to be doing that anymore. So, that meaning I thought was hilarious because that one, once again, hit me dead on the mark. Loud and rowdy, man. That's how I look at it. I've been that way before, kind of the outcast of everything. And I think that's what my brain's going to stand for, is that, of us that we might be loud, we might be rowdy. I got tattoos, that type of stuff, man. But I'll go to the end of the earth for you at the same time of, I want to provide, I want to protect, I want to do anything and everything I can for the ones that I love. But you see me at the bar on a Friday night, man, I'm probably in there getting drunk and acting a fool. But that don't mean I'm a bad dude. So I'm hoping that this brand correlates with a lot of people. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. That's for you to decide. But I think it's cool. I think it's a cool looking logo, not just because it's mine. I think it's cool regardless. And there's a true meaning behind it. So, quick and simple video here just explaining what saltwater buffalo is, what it means to me, what I hope it means to you, what I hope to portray in my life going forward, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's we meet face to face or anything like that. So, strive to be better every day. And until the next one, remember, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.